Привет, привет! Привет, привет! Как настроение? Russian Pipe presents a quick presentation on verbs of motion with prefixes перебегать and переходить. In my last video, I gave you an overview on how we use the same verbs but without prefixes. It is really worth a look, right there. And today I'm going to give you a few insights on how prefixes work in Russian and the most common phrases with these verbs. Готовы? Тогда за мной! In the previous presentation about verbs of motion, I showed you how to use the verb бегать, and now we're looking at перебегать. The stress shifted to the last syllable, перебегать, and we can definitely spot a prefix here, пере. Prefix is a fixed group of letters that we add to the beginning of the word to make a new word with a different meaning. You can spot prefixes in such words as undo or overdo. And this is what makes a lot of verbs of motion in Russian. Where you would add a preposition like across or over, we would add a prefix. So by adding пере, we make a new word with the meaning of run across. This verb can have a continuous meaning and focus on the process, answering the questions, what are you doing? And it can also have a simple meaning and reflect a repeated casual activity and answer such questions as how often do you have to cross the street? This is by far the least likely question you will ever have to ask. So let's see how we use this verb in real life. Oh, before I forgot, the verb also changes depending on the person it refers to. Я перебегаю, он перебегает. Перебегать дорогу, cross the street. Не надо перебегать дорогу на красный. You shouldn't cross the road on a red light. Перебегать из в. Run from somewhere to somewhere over and over again. Он перебегал из вагона в вагон. He ran from one car to another. Перебегать через дорогу. Run across the street. Смотри, как смешно собака перебегает через дорогу. Look how funny the dog is running across the road. And be sure that перебегать дорогу and перебегать через дорогу with preposition через basically mean the same thing, and you can absolutely use both of them interchangeably. Переходить comes from ходить and luckily doesn't change its stress. Ходить, переходить. Prefix пере, which is usually represented in English by prepositions across and over, creates the new meaning of crossing, walking across. The verb cross in English doesn't indicate if a person walks or runs. Russian language makes it clear. Walking across the street means переходить. This verb can have a continuous meaning and focus on the process, answering the questions, what are you doing? And it can also have a simple meaning and reflect a repeated casual activity and answer such questions as, why are you crossing the street here? It's not safe. It can also have some other figurative meanings that we will look into in a second. The verb also changes depending on the person it refers to. Я перехожу, они переходят. Переходить дорогу. Cross the road. Как правильно переходить дорогу? How does one cross a road? Переходить дорогу, but in a different kind of way. Make someone angry by stopping them from achieving what they want. Stand in someone's way. Я не хочу переходить ему дорогу. I don't want to stand in his way. Also figurative, переходить, менять. For example, in education, move over to a different school, change the school. Он переходит в другую школу. He's moving over to a different school, changing the school, basically. Bottom line is that Russian prefixes work the same way as prepositions in English. And you can imagine that for Russian speakers, it's a real nightmare to remember all of these prepositions that can change entirely the verb meaning. Run off, run down, run away, run through. You can run a marathon and you can run a business. What? So we had to give you something to pay you back, you know. How often do you cross the street at a red line? Let me know in comments below. And like this video and subscribe to my channel, Russian Pie, if you want to see more of my verbs of motion videos. Пока!